Okay, now we are on our seventh principle, and it says here that a successful creative freelancer knows how to price their services. So let's talk in more detail now about how do you price your services. This is one of the biggest struggles. Paano ba ang presyuhan ng ganito? I make a logo. Ano bang presyo ng logo? And to be honest with you, walang definite answer for it eh. Walang standard pricing. And it's good actually, because if there is no standard pricing, then it means that it's not a commodity. Ang may standard pricing lang ay commodity. Bumili ka ng bigas, may standard price ang bigas. Bumili ka ng dilata, may standard price ang bigas. Pag ginawa mo may standard price ang logo, eh di para na lang din siya nabibili mo kung saan-saan. So, walang standard price ang design. Because as I mentioned to you again, what you are selling is not your design. What you're selling is the idea behind your design. So that is a mindset change that you need to make. You're selling your expertise. You're selling your idea. How much is your idea worth to you or worth for your client? So that's the very important principle when it comes to pricing now your services. And here is how I always think about pricing. The price of your service should match or exceed your scope of work. So, kaya importante yung last step natin kanina, knowing your scope of work, kasi yung presyo mo will depend on the scope of work that you will define. Pag wala kang scope of work, mahirap magpresyo. Kasi suntok sa buwan yan eh. Paano pag biglang may ni-request yung client na iba na outside of the scope of work? Paano kasi singil? So, you need to clearly define the scope of work so that you can price it accordingly. At para malinaw din sa kliyente mo na ito yung presyo for this kind of work. Anything outside of this, sisingil ako. So that's why it's very important that you define your scope of work. Now, when it comes to pricing, there are three ways that you can price your services. The first way is what I call time-based pricing. And this is the simplest way to price your services. Ang gagawin mo lang dito is to estimate the amount of time that you think you need to complete the work, and then charge your daily rate or your hourly rate. Say, for example, sabihin natin na ang rate mo is for 10 hours. Logo for 10 hours. Parang bilis, ano? 10 times 20, that's 200. $200 ang singil mo dun sa logo. So, ganun lang siya kasimple. Then you just have to figure out what your hourly rate is or your daily rate is. And it's also a very simple thing. Ang pwede mo lang gawin is sabihin mo, gusto mo kumita ng 100,000 sa isang buwan. Okay, 100,000 pesos sa isang buwan. And then, 20 days ka lang mag-work. So, 100,000 divided by 20 gives you what? 5,000 pesos a day. So, 5,000 pesos a day, yan yung daily rate mo. So, pag may nagpagawa sa'yo ng logo, sasabihin mo, 2 days kong gagawin yung logo eh. Okay, so 10,000 pesos ang singil mo doon sa logo mo. So, that's the simplest way to define the pricing. But, of course, ang problem mo dyan is you're just charging for time. You're not charging for your expertise. Paano kung nag-iiba-iba yung level ng kailangan mong gawin? Like, for example, iba yung skill na kailangan to do research, iba yung skill na kailangan to do concept, iba yung skill na kailangan to do actual design. Magkakaiba ng skill yon. In my example, for motion design, iba yung skill na nagsusulat ng script, iba yung skill ng gumagawa ng storyboard, iba yung skill na nag-illustrate, iba yung skill na nag-animate. So kung ilalump mo lang all together sila sa isang pricing, minsan malulugi ka. So you have to define another way to develop a pricing strategy. And this is where the next strategy comes in. I call it the cost-based pricing. Ang principle ko dito is very simple. Dinidivide ko yung kind of work that I do or the different steps that need to be done to complete a work. Say for example, yun nga, motion design. So meron akong several steps. May creative direction, may script writing, may storyboarding, may voice recording, illustrations, animation, sound design, revisions, project management, direct cost, profit, and each of them may associated na presyo. Ang mindset ko dyan is, kapag in-outsource ko yung creative direction, magkano yung ibabayad ko doon? Let's say, sabi ko, I hire a creative director to do this work. Magkano yung babayad ko sa kanya? $400? So, sabi ko, $400. Nag-hire ako ng script writer to do a 1-minute script. Magkano yung babayad ko sa kanya? $100? So, I write $100. Magkano yung babayad ko sa storyboard artist? So, ganyan. Lahat, bawat isang step na yan, susulatan ko ng presyo. And this is my mindset. I always think of the price kapag in-outsource ko siya. Hindi yung ako ang gagawa. Yung ipapagawa ko sa iba. I think as a business owner in this case. So, magkano yung charge ko for that? And, kung hindi mo naman i-outsource to, think about it as the amount of time that you will do each one and magkano mo ipepresyo ang bawat isang steps na to. And then, after that, at the very dulo, isasum mo lahat niyan and then lalagyan mo ng profit. A percentage of everything. In my case, it's normally 30% at the minimum. So, I add 30% over the total sum of this thing, and that is the cost that I quote to my client. So, that's the cost-based pricing. And it's very important that you learn this principle kasi this will allow you to be able to understand the cost that is involved in your work. Ang isa pang benefit nito is this. Sabihin natin ako ang gagawa ng lahat ng ito. So meron akong presyo sa bawat isa. But halimbawa dumating yung case na hindi na kaya ng oras ko, I need to hire someone to do the illustration. Dahil naglagay ako ng presyo sa illustration, pwede ako mag-hire ng illustrator at alam ko yung magkano ibabayad ko sa kanya. At pasok pa rin dun sa nilagay kong cost dito. And that's the very important thing about it. By doing this method, you are able to price your service correctly and you're also able to have that flexibility of outsourcing stuff as you need to. And then, the third way to price your services is by value-based pricing. The value-based pricing is basically an add-on to the cost-based pricing. So, kailangan alam mo muna yung cost-based pricing mo before ka pumunta sa value-based pricing. Why? Kasi you want to make sure na covered muna yung buong costs mo. So, kailangan, kumbaga, para mag-break-even ka dun sa costs mo. Pag alam mo na kung ano yung break-even point mo, which was defined by your cost-based pricing, now, your value-based pricing is basically an add-on. And paano yung add-on na yan? I ask several questions in my case. How big the company is? Corporate company ba yan? Then I can charge more. Kasi alam kong hindi nila pera yon. At usually may budget sila for this kinds of stuff. What I would normally charge for, sabihin na nating $2,000 for a small business, I would charge a corporate company twice that, $4,000. So ganon, you factor it. How many approvers? Okay, ilan ba yung mag-a-approve na to? Isa lang ba? Or 10 tao ang kailangan mag-approve? Pag 10 tao ang kailangan mag-approve niyan, then importante ito, maraming department, I will charge more. Magdadagdag ako dun sa rate ko. Frequency and types of meeting. Usually ito, nangyayari sa akin sa local client, mahilig sila, punta ka ng Makati, meeting tayo. Which I actually hate doing because I always want to be working from home. So I charge them for that. Inaalam ko na mahilig sa meeting to. So I add on, I pad that cost for cost of meeting, going there, time na nawawala. Kasi yung traveling ko, going to Makati, it consumes almost half a day. So I charge them that half a day rate every time na may meeting kami. Okay? So dadagdag ko yun dun sa presyo. And then, is it a rush project? So I charge a premium kapag may rush project. And then, how much business will they get out of this? Ayan, kailangan importante yan eh. Kung kapag nagawa ba natin ito ng tama, magkano bang negosyo ang potentially ma-earn nila? So I try to factor that in and add it in the price because that's how important this activity is for them. So that's the thing that I always have in mind whenever I price my services. So yan yung kailangan nyo rin gawin. So if you're just starting, then I suggest you go with a time-based price. And as you develop your expertise in what you're doing, then go cost-based pricing. And then once you have figured out the actual costs of doing things, then add on mo yung value-based pricing. Yan yung progression na pwede mong gawin when you're pricing your services. So I hope you learned something from this one. And sana mawala na sa isip nyo yung magkano bang presyuhan nito? Because honestly, walang standard price talaga. And you just have to price things based on what you think is fair for you, fair on your expertise, and fair on your mindset and your skill level. So,